Hi guys, it's Lindsey with Mango's Miracles, and we're back with our podcast, Paul's Purpose in People, and we have some special guests today. We have Nikki from ARF, and who else do we have here?
This is my dog Tinkerbell. So Tinkerbell, my husband and I adopted after we rescued her. He was a police officer before he retired, and they got a call from a family member that somebody had left a puppy in a cage. And this was Memorial Day weekend about 14 years ago. And she was about 7 or 8 weeks old, no food or water in the cage. But the crazy thing is they had taken everything from the home. I mean, light fixtures, appliances, anything. Left her in the cage, and a person was concerned that she wasn't doing well. So the police were able to go in with the animal shelter and take her out, get her out of there. But she was almost dead. I mean, she was lifeless. She was dehydrated. She also had fleas really bad. So he ran her to me, and I keep a supply of emergency stuff at my house. So we started her on fluids, and we got a Capstar in her to get the fleas off of her. And then I started syringe feeding once she was a little more conscious. And she survived. And he said, if you save her, we're keeping this puppy. But me, I'm always the one that's like, no more.
Yeah.
So we found her a home once she was all, healthy. And they had her for a night and brought her back and said she did nothing but cry. So at that point, then I said, okay, she can stay.
Was meant to be yours.
So this is Tinkerbell. So she's our oldest current pet right now. We have 6 dogs and 2 cats at my house.
Yeah. And what breed is she? Do you know?
We were told by the aunt that she was a Chihuahua Poodle.
Okay.
So it was the aunt that had called to let them know that her niece had moved away and left this puppy.
And I was telling Nikki earlier, I was like, I would have never guessed that she's 14 years old because she looks so good.
Yeah. Now, if she starts coughing, she does have chronic bronchitis, so don't worry, she's okay. She gets riled up and starts coughing.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me how long you've been at ARF and what your position is.
Sure, yeah. So I started at ARF in 2001, and I was a volunteer. I went to Ball State, and I missed my dogs, and a girl I knew was going to volunteer, so I tagged along. And 25 years later, here I am.
So that was
2001. So I've done kind of all the different positions. I've been a volunteer. I've cleaned kennels. I've helped with adoptions. And now I do I'm the general operations manager. So kind of just help make sure anything that might need to be done is getting done. Make sure our day-to-day is happening. Make sure our monthly reports are happening. Yearly reports. Go to the board meetings. Report to our board. And then we, kind of anything. If we have donations that need picked up, I'll drive down and grab donations. If we have a big rescue, I'll go out and help with that. If we have animals that aren't feeling well, we have a veterinarian that is in weekly, but she sets kind of a SOP for us that if, this is happening, report to me. Start with taking its temperature or
immediate help.
Exactly. And then she'll let us know if it's something that we can treat in-house or if we should take it to a full-service vet.
Sure.
So, kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so you just kind of worked your way up through all the years that you've been there.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. And then, so tell us a little bit about ARF, because I'm assuming most people who are watching or listening to our podcast probably know about ARF since it's very well known. It's been around for years. But other people, may not know, or like myself or other people who have never adopted from there would love to have more information and just kind of tell us more about ARF.
Yeah, so ARF was founded in 1998. Terry Ponzi, our founder, she was volunteering at our local shelter, and it was just one of those things where she kept taking animals home. And especially in shelter settings, animals can pass around colds like a daycare,
Oh yeah. I worked in the shelter world for 8 years. So
Yes. And it can be very difficult when animals are stressed out. Even in a lovely space, animals are stressed out. So it makes it hard for them to recover. So what she was finding is if animals were going to be euthanized for illness, or sometimes maybe they were just really scared, or old and somebody didn't want them, then she was taking them all home. And so she always, she likes to tell the story. Her husband came home from work and opened up the garage door, and there's 2 pot-bellied pigs in her garage. And he was like, we got to figure this out. So they actually started just by renting a small building on Wheeling. It was Dr. Boyce's old building, and so she was just renting that. She was using her paycheck as an x-ray technician to pay for that and do rescue and every waking moment when she wasn't at work. So then it just started growing, and we had a really wonderful person who loved what Terry was doing, heard about it, and bought a property for Terry to move her, her to move ARF to. And so that's kind of how we ended up on Riggin Road. It was purchased, and we are able to work out of there, and we've actually expanded. When we bought the building, I started in 2001. I think they bought that in 98 or 99.
Okay.
But at that time, it was just a farmhouse, a barn, and a garage.
Okay.
And those buildings served us well for several decades. But then as the need grew, we added what we used to call our adoption center for dogs. And then probably about 10 or 15 years ago, we added what we called the Caddy Shack. And then about 7 years ago, I think, we added what we now call our dog adoption center. It's Jeff's house. It was named in memory of the son of the people who paid for that building to be built. And so we kind of renovated our old adoption center to be a little bit more of a home-like environment for animals who require a longer stay. And then our newest building is our administration building, the Patricia Schaefer Administration Building. And that houses our vet clinic. So we are the building our vet works out of when she's up weekly. And then it houses just kind of like offices and space for, anything that we might need to do, have meetings, stuff like that.
Yep. So you have then what? You have the admin building, the Caddy Shack, and then Jeff's house.
Yep. And then our other dog building is Ollie's Bed and Biscuit.
Okay.
And so that's kind of the one for longer term animals.
Okay.
And then we were really lucky. Our old Caddy Shack, the roof needed redone, and we started getting quotes, and the quotes were $40,000.
I believe that. Yeah.
So we thought we're putting a $40,000 roof on a building that is old and needs redone. So we ended up applying for grants, and again, very lucky that we were able to get the cost of the new building for the cats funded. So that way the donations that come in from people can be used, directly for the animals. Which is what we know what most people want to help, and not that the building doesn't help the animals,
right? But
they want to help, make sure their bellies are full,
medical
make sure they're warm,
expenses.
pay for their spays or neuters or stuff like that. We
you guys keep the name on that, the Caddy Shack?
We are changing that. I don't know that they've narrowed it down, but they've got some ideas they're tossing around, and I think we're going to go ahead and change that with the new building. So a lot of exciting times, a lot of new things happening.
So. Will it be bigger than the old Caddy Shack, or about the same?
About the same. We could only build on the existing footprint.
Okay.
But we got to actually design this with the
with the cats in mind,
exactly,
and cater to the cats and stuff like that.
Yep. So I think we have about 10 smaller rooms.
Oh wow.
And then a medium-sized room and a large room, and then we'll have a few free roaming cats that can just kind of
go
be wherever they want.
That's awesome.
So,
with that, will you have
fun.
like isolation and or how will that work for you guys?
So we actually have 2 wings off of the building, and that will be for our isolation. So if we do have some illness or some new guys come in, and maybe one of the things that we have to be diligent on with the new animals is isolating them for 14 days because of ringworm, leukopenia,
all the bad
exactly,
all the bad things. I'm going to take all the cats out.
And that's the hard part, when people come into a building and they're like, well, you have an open cage right there. Why can't you just take this stray cat I just found? And the thing is, we have to be conscious of our existing animals, our existing population, and we have to have space in our isolation area.
Sure.
And that's why it's just so hard, because people walk through
don't think about that aspect of it as, well, you can't just throw this unknown cat that you found outside that you have no idea what they've been exposed to.
Exactly.
And with all of your healthy ones, because then you could end up with all of your adoptable ones, or your building shut down for 3 months because everybody has ringworm and upper respiratory and Giardia and all the bad things, that are definitely going to shut it down, especially ringworm and upper respiratory infections.
Boy, ringworm in cats, I tell you what, if you get it in a dog, it's not, I don't know what the difference is, but of course we still have to isolate and gown and treat the dogs, but it just doesn't spread like it does in cats.
Not like in cats, it seems like. So.
But so that's all the fun stuff happening at ARF. I probably went off subject because I tend to do that. I kind of go on tangents.
Okay, so let's talk about statistics for ARF because I'm not exactly sure how many you guys do or all like where all your numbers are coming from and what you guys all do in that aspect.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, probably most everybody is aware that we do dog and cat adoptions.
Okay.
So we have our numbers from last year for 2025. We actually did 583 cat adoptions, which is
Awesome. That's amazing.
that was the most cat adoptions we've done. Dog adoptions, we did 379, which is still,
a lot.
it's a lot of
That's
homeless
a
dogs.
lot of dogs. Yeah.
We were able to return 61 animals back to their owners.
Awesome.
So they ended up with us either stray and even occasionally we'll have somebody turn in an animal and then maybe a couple days later we find out that maybe the reason they turned it in is they just had trouble affording food or a single incident where we can help the animal and then give it back to the environment it knows, because really our goal is to help not just the animals, but the people in our community. So if there's something that we can do to help animals stay in their homes, we want to try.
Especially with the way the economy is and stuff like that. You know, food is very expensive. Food and litter and all the things.
Definitely. So that kind of comes into our next number, which is we actually helped 233 animals last year with vet care that were not actual ARF animals. So community cats that were fixed. I'm trying to think of, we have a fund called our Forever Pet Fund where if somebody just has, again, a one-time thing, maybe not a chronic condition, but maybe their pets are 2 or 3 years overdue for vaccines and their landlord or their apartment complex require vaccinations to be updated. We'll help by updating the shots so that the animals can stay in the home. Just stuff like that. So 233 animals were helped with that care.
That's a lot of expense.
I know.
That you guys don't see any return on. So that's a great, when your donations, I mean, that's helping keeping animals in their forever homes.
Exactly. And for those specific funds, we take donations for or grants. Again, the money that people donate to the ARF animals, we want to make sure it's helping the animals in our care. So we were really lucky. We got a grant for $10,000 to start this Forever Pet Fund.
Awesome.
You want to walk around? I think she's getting antsy.
She's like, okay, Mom, put me down. I got things to smell and things to see.
So we were lucky to get that grant, and we did go through those funds. And then we're looking for funding again for this year for that fund. So that's the Forever Pet Fund. We transferred 169 animals to other partnering rescues. So a lot of times what we'll do is
temporarily take them in and house them until they can get into somebody that may have open foster homes, I'm guessing, or specialized.
And Mango's Miracles has pulled from us.
So we pulled some puppies.
Sometimes where you guys have an open foster home and you see that we have puppies that need foster, and it just works out really well because just like we talked about with the cats coming into the shelter, puppies seem to be the most at-risk dog population. And so we really prefer for puppies to go straight to foster homes. So 169 animals transferred to partner rescues. So, I think it was probably around 1,600 total animals helped.
And that's
looking at the wrong graphic. I pulled up the wrong graphic without the totals, but I want to say it was around 1,600 animals. So I mean, it's
which is a lot if you're thinking about vaccines, spays and neuters, dewormers, flea preventions and treatments, anything that goes with medical care, food. I mean, that's a lot. That's I know our medical bills last year were like $35,000, so I can't even imagine what your guys' medical bills were last year.
I wish I had that total. That's probably a good number I should start knowing. But one of the nice things is we bring our vet to us. She comes up every Friday from Fisher's, and we do like usually around 30 spays and neuters every Friday. And then sometimes it'll be something like an eye removal, a leg amputation. Mostly it's ARF animals, but we do surgeries for other rescues, other shelters, and then occasionally community cats. And those are probably, right now, we'll do them all spring through fall.
With kitten season coming up.
We'll do any community cats if they come in a live trap. Those do have to be scheduled. So if anybody has questions about getting community cats into us, please reach out to us. And we'll give you all the contact information.
What's the best way for them to reach out?
Email is usually the best. info@munciearf.com. And then we actually have on our website tabs that they can click to request help. So if you just go to munciearf.com, navigate through the resources tab.
And then it'll have a contact information that they can get a hold of you. Do they submit that request like through the website? For them to, or I guess I should say, for you guys to contact them?
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely the easiest. If you can't figure that out, just shoot us an email to info@munciearf.com.
Perfect. And then, so you're talking about your vet comes in every Friday. Do you guys have employees? I'm assuming do you have
We
like
do.
full-time and part-time, or how does that work?
Yes, we have 21 employees, and I would say probably 6 are full time,
Awesome.
and then the rest are part time.
Part-time, yeah.
So yeah, we definitely could not do this without employees.
Yeah.
At one point, we were all volunteers.
Yep.
And so, and that works out really well
Yeah.
until you start having
Until you need
open
to grow.
hours
Yeah.
and, you know, people expecting you to be
Yes,
somewhere, because when
yes.
you're a volunteer and you're, you know, maybe your child's sick for the day,
Yep.
or your husband has something going on, or somebody has a school
it makes it
program.
I feel like we're, you know, Mangoes as an organization is kind of going through this growing period and weird time where you guys were obviously probably 20 something years ago, where we need open hours
Yes.
because our cat adoptions are really slow. And people want to come in and see them, and they have to arrange a time, and they're like, most people would really just like to come in during open hours, but we're all
Yes.
volunteer based. And so I feel like I'm at this weird time of like, we need more financials so that we can grow to offer open
Yes.
hours
Yes.
and get a bigger building. So I was like, when you're saying that, I understand exactly what you're saying, because we're going through this weird growth period, which is awesome,
Yes.
but also like, what the heck am I going to do?
I know, and that's the hard thing. So there's so many things with animal sheltering that you probably understand,
Yeah.
but I would think
The
that
general public don't understand.
Yes. And like one of the things is sometimes, you know, we will waive adoption fees on
Yeah.
dogs that have been there for a while,
Yep.
or
and we're
harder
eating
to
that
place.
$300 and something
Exactly.
or more. Like we have Jake from State Farm, and he was featured in one of our episodes not too long ago about dog fostering. And we had him heartworm treatment. He was neutered.
Yep.
He had gnarly ear infections that we treated multiple times, which they're all good now. Like we have thousands of dollars.
I was going to say that is not less than $2,000.
No, but it's like we've had him forever. So I'm like, if somebody wants him and gets an approved application, just please come and get him.
Yes.
Because we've had him for like a year now, and he's fantastic. He's not a behavioral dog. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just an older guy, and nobody's wanted him because of that. But we eat that cost.
Yes.
And even before that, if the $275 adoption fee wouldn't have hardly paid for anything, but at least we're recouping a little bit on that. But at this point, we're like, you need to go home,
yes,
buddy.
You need to find a home. So
Yeah.
we'll waive it. We have people that like to sponsor adoption
Yep.
fees.
Yep.
And then sometimes what we're even finding is if we do get just that random 1-year-old poodle that we neutered and microchipped and otherwise was healthy and no behavioral issues, we might charge a little more on him because his adoption fee at $400 will help
the ones like Jake from State Farm.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So we kind of call them like legacy adoptions when they're a little bit more expensive. It's usually the ones that are more sought after. So like your full-blooded ones, your younger ones, especially like if it was like an 8-week-old healthy golden retriever puppy.
Yes.
You know, we're going to get 30 to 40 applications on that versus the mixed breed 8-week-old who looks like a pitty or a shepherd.
Exactly.
We're going to get maybe 2 applications on him, and it's going to take 4 months. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like those ones that we charge just a little bit more on, usually our full-blooded ones are $500. If we get any Frenchies in, they're usually more expensive because we have to do nair surgery on them and soft palate surgery. So that's a different story. But the one the healthy ones like that 8-week-old German or golden retriever puppy is going to be $500 versus the $275 because that additional fee, if we make any money, I'm not saying we're making any money, because that's going to go right back into helping a community cat that needs to have its eye removed and neutered and then put back out because it's feral and it needs to go back out, or all these other different things that people don't think of. Vaccines. You're ordering these massive trays of vaccines that cost several $100s that you're not going to see any return until these animals are adopted.
Exactly.
Or like when I order flea prevention, flea and tick prevention, that's $800 a pop every time. So it's like these legacy adoptions are helping these animals in other ways. We're not profiting off of these because we're a nonprofit. It's this money is helping in all these other ways.
Exactly. I know. And that's sometimes the comments on social media. I the compassion fatigue is real.
Oh yeah.
And for me, the hardest part is not, I mean, it does weigh on me seeing animals come in bad shape, or when we have to make that horrible call on euthanasia for a dying animal, or, for whatever reason. But I think the hardest thing is the social media, the comments.
It's the people that make it hard. It's not so much the animals, it's the people that make it really hard.
Correct.
So sometimes if we post something that's kind of controversial or all these different things, I shut the comments off.
That's a good idea. And
I just shut them
if
off.
you could show me, I've tried Googling.
I'll show you how to shut the comments
Yes,
off, because
that would be
sometimes I
great.
just shut those comments off because
Yes.
we don't need the negativity. We see enough negativity in the day that we don't need to deal with other people.
I
It's
know.
great. You all have your opinions, but we are professionals and we have been doing this for years. Myself, I was in the shelter world, I think for 8 years, and then I went into veterinary medicine for 7 years. And so I'm like, I obviously have some idea, and if I don't, I'm going to reach out to
Correct.
my veterinarian, who's going to guide me on the things that I need to do. Things like that. If we don't know what we're doing, that we've been doing this for a long time and we have some professional knowledge of what we need to be doing. So if you're going to sit there and comment negative things, that's not going to be beneficial at all. We're already having a hard enough time. I just shut them off.
Exactly. And our biggest thing is we are truly going to make a kind decision.
Yeah.
And sometimes, people don't understand all the thought that goes into the stuff that we do. It's not just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah.
It's
No.
several weeks or several months sometimes of trying to find the right plan for an animal.
Yep.
Occasionally we'll have to, re-release a cat that we were trying to tame down, that maybe it came in a live trap to our community cat program.
Yeah.
And we were able to reach in and pet it without sedating it first.
Yeah.
And so we want to give those cats a chance.
Yeah.
But what we're finding out is sometimes these cats that we've tried to tame down,
they want to go back outside.
They do.
That's what they've known their entire lives, and they're stressed in that environment.
Exactly.
They don't like people that much. They're just kind of tolerant, and if they want to go back out, then
yes,
we should do what's best for them.
And so we always weigh all the options.
Yeah.
Is there another option?
Yeah.
Is this the kindest thing that we can do for the animal? Are we, sometimes with euthanasia, are we keeping them alive because we can?
Yeah.
Or because it's the right decision?
Yeah.
And that's where we really trust our behavioralists, our veterinarians, to help us make that decision.
To guide those decisions and things like that, especially on some of your medical cases. Like, for example, we've had feline leukemia cats that, that their average lifespan of the feline leukemia cat, you're lucky if they make it 2 years old.
Exactly.
And we've had some kittens that they truly could not get better. And at that point, we're like, we are just prolonging their suffering. And then they had FELV, and then he developed FIP, and all these things. They were like, the kindest thing to do is just to let him go to the Rainbow Bridge, because he, that's a lot, especially for a feline leukemia cat who's, not doing well anyways. So there's a lot of thought that goes into the decisions that we make. And I don't think the general public thinks that we're consulting the behavioralists, we're consulting the veterinarians, we're consulting all of the professionals that we work with to make sure that we're making the right decision.
And then a lot of times that we're even checking with other rescues. Are there purebred rescues that might even have the
better setup for them, like a foster that's experienced with a biting Shih Tzu, things
or
like that.
Hospice situation. Maybe maybe there's rescues that can take hospice animals and offer them a few more months of comfort. Where in maybe a shelter they can't. And then even just everything that we do, I feel like we are definitely thinking of the animals and then the
not
humans
ourselves.
Behind the animals.
We want to think of what's best for the animals. And I would say that rescue work is a lot of selfishness, because I'm going to be heartbroken that we're letting this kitten go, but I also don't want this kitten to suffer, and it's not about me. It's about what's best for the animal.
Yeah. And, talking about that and fostering is the same way, because, and this is changing the subject, but I hear all the time, oh, I couldn't do what you do because I just love animals so much. And I do get that. I know a lot of people do love animals.
That's what we hear the most often is that exact phrase. I couldn't do it because I would be heartbroken.
But I think that we love them so much that we're willing to go through that pain that we feel. I mean, when I send an animal home, sometimes that animal, it knows my voice, and so it keeps jumping back to me, and it's heartbreaking because I cannot adopt another animal, or I can't keep them all, and it is heartbreaking to see them go. But for us to keep saving more, we have to find good homes. We have to let them go, and we have to be able to say goodbye.
And the thing is, as soon as that one leaves, there's literally like 5 more waiting to take their place.
Exactly.
So it's like, by you fostering and continuing to foster and letting those go, then you can help way more besides just helping the one. You've helped the one, you bridged the gap, but the ultimate goal is not to keep them. The ultimate goal is to get them happy and healthy and in their forever homes.
Exactly.
And so I think that I've just kind of become callous to it. Like I go into this with this expectation of they're not staying forever. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
I don't anticipate to keep any of them. So I go in with that mindset of, okay, they're just coming in temporarily. I'll house them, I'll feed them, I'll love them, I'll keep them safe, I'll do everything that they need in the meantime until there's the perfect person that comes along for them.
Yes.
I think just going into that with the mindset of they're not staying anyways makes it a lot easier. And I've just become kind of callous to it because I know they're not staying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know they're not staying. I myself have 4 dogs, 3 cats, and lots of exotics, and several of them, I should say, are fosters. But I go into that knowing I don't want another dog because 4 dogs, 2 of them are special needs, is a lot, anyways.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like I physically, mentally cannot consider keeping another dog with the ones that I have now. But fostering them, knowing they're going into it again, they're not going to be there forever. No big deal. I'll take care of them, like I said, love them, get them everything they need, and then send them to their people. So you just kind of have to go into it with that mindset of I'm not planning to keep them anyways. They're just temporary.
Exactly. Yeah. So I definitely agree that fostering is probably to me, one of the most selfless things you can do because you're setting yourself up for heartbreak every time.
Yep. And you're doing it for free. You know, you're cleaning up after them. You're doing everything for free, but it's one of the biggest assets that we can have as organizations is fosters.
Yes. Yeah. That's, we definitely cannot do the amount of cats and kittens that we do without fosters because just like we talked about puppies being such a fragile population. Same with kittens.
Yeah. And we do a ton of kittens every year, but again, we couldn't do what we do without fosters.
Oh yeah.
She's in our building now. You can see how tiny it is. There's no way we can do a bunch of cats here. So talking about that, so how do things work? You guys have your building and your foster base too. Like what are you guys considered?
We are considered a nonprofit rescue with a shelter,
okay.
But we have a small foster base. So typically our kitten fosters foster for about 3 weeks. So when they come in, we give them their initial shots. 2 weeks later, we booster their shots. A week later, we bring them back. As long as they're big enough, we spay and neuter. And then they go right up for adoption.
So are you guys spaying and neutering at 8 weeks too?
Yes. Yeah, but we like to do about 2.5 pounds.
Yeah, that's what we are too.
And so that's how the kittens usually. Now, of course, sometimes we get the bottle babies or the ones that are about 4 or 5 weeks old, and then they'll stay in their fosters for a few extra weeks.
Sure.
But
those fosters go into that with that mindset. Okay, I know I'm going to have them for a little bit longer before they get moved to the adoption floor or whatever.
Exactly.
So once they come back from foster, they've been fixed and everything. Do they go to your cat house?
So right now, since it doesn't have what we are going to do is we will have an area for what we call under vaccinated.
Okay.
So we actually use like little colored tags.
Nice.
So we have green means hey, I'm healthy, no behavioral issues, you can pet me. Then yellow is what we consider under vaccinated but healthy.
Okay.
So
like kittens that have only had 1 or 2 sets of vaccines or something like that, because it has to be age appropriate vaccines.
Exactly. So we want people to stop and think, okay, is there a benefit to petting this kitten, or is it just me reaching and petting it for a second and then going to the next one? So we discourage that. So then we have orange, which orange means I'm healthy, but maybe I'm scared.
Sure.
You know, go slow, or maybe I don't like other animals. And then red is our, maybe they're being treated for giardia, a contagious parasite that we don't want people spreading. So that's how we do that. So our yellows, our yellow kittens are going to have an area together where we know they've been screened for all the parasites. They don't have feline leukemia. To the best of our knowledge, these are super healthy animals. Their only issue is they're under vaccinated. So so we'll have a section of under vaccinated but healthy kittens that have been fixed and ready to go.
And then people can go in there and visit them if they're looking to adopt.
And then if they're just wanting to visit cats, then we'll have a whole bunch of green rooms where they can just go in and out.
Because like you said, when you started, you missed your animals at home. And so people can go in there. I would say we mostly see like college students and stuff like that too who come in here because they're missing their pets at home or different things like that. And they can just go in and visit and socialize with the cats. Awesome. So they start out at ARF like temporarily, then they get moved to foster depending on age wise, and then they go to the adoption floor. Awesome.
And so for puppies, we try to send them straight to rescues with openings. We do have a few puppy fosters, not quite as many as kitten fosters.
Puppies are harder. Puppies are hard. I fostered puppies from like the first year that I started Mangoes. I had 23 dogs in and out of my house, not at the same time, within a 12-month span. And I was like, Oh man, I don't want to do puppies anymore.
It's rough.
Because
Yeah,
they're hard.
It's
just like they don't know how to dog. You know what I mean? Like, and so you have to train them. And so I feel like with the puppy fosters versus the kitten fosters, the puppy fosters have to do a lot more.
yes,
because
and
they're
kittens are
training.
easier to contain in a big
Yeah.
cage or
Yeah.
something like this, or
Yeah.
even a bathroom or a spare room.
Yeah.
Where puppies, they take a lot more cleaning.
They do.
So my husband is a saint. We have fostered, oh gosh, since even and before I knew him, I think I've fostered about 2,000 animals, and then since I've met him, gosh, about 18 years ago, we have fostered. I think it's been somewhere in the 1,000 range.
I couldn't imagine.
So
Was it mostly puppies or?
Yes, mostly puppies.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I like mom and puppies.
Yeah.
So
those are easier until they start walking around,
Yes.
and then everybody's pooping, and
Exactly.
you got 8 piles of poop in like a
Yes.
5-minute time span.
Yep, definitely. So that was always kind of my passion, was moms and puppies.
Yeah.
But now that I'm at work all the time,
Yeah.
I can't do as much. But then now I take the bottle babies,
Yeah.
Things that I can take back and forth to work with
Yeah.
me in their incubator until
Yep.
they're big enough to walk around, and then I
Yep.
send them to another foster.
Yep. Somebody who has more
So,
time to
yes.
dedicate to that, because like I said, they do take a lot more time than your kittens.
Exactly.
Just because you're trying to teach them potty training and sit, and don't be a land shark that keeps biting me, and all the things that go along with puppies. Love puppies.
Yes.
Don't love fostering puppies.
Yes.
Love them. I would like to enjoy them in their entity when I get to see them, but I don't want to foster them.
Yes.
I will, like, temporarily, like if I need to, but I just don't have the time either, between mangoes and my home life with the toddler and all the things. Like, I just do not have time with puppies.
So yeah, and so my son is 14, and so it's so funny thinking back to when he was little, because he'll say to me now, we have 6 dogs, and he'll say to me now, well, why can't we just keep this one, Mom? We had 17 pets when I was born. You tell me about that. And it's just funny to think back, and I think we have 8 animals, and that's a manageable amount for me.
Yeah.
But he'll say that to me. Well, why can't we have this one? We had more when I was born.
Yeah. Say, well, when you work full time, then you'll understand.
Exactly.
When you work full time and your mom trying to do all these things, then you'll understand. Because it is a lot.
I was lucky. I stayed home with him for the first 2 years, and then went back to work part time when he was 2. So I kind of eased my way back into it. Yeah. But
okay, so let's talk about like where the financials come from. So donations, grants, like, where do you guys get all your funding from?
Yeah, so since we're a 501c3, it is all donations or grants, like you talk about. We have a thrift store. Yeah. So our thrift store generates revenue, is what I'm trying to say. And they're actually just about a mile down the road. Yeah. So they're down on Kilgore, just past Nebo.
I've been in there one time, but I want to go back because I found some good stuff last time I was
and
down
the prices are amazing. So they're open Monday through Thursday, 11 to 2, and then Fridays, 11 to 5, and they're on Facebook. So our thrift store.
Nice.
So that's actually a nice source of income. Our adoption fees do help, but like you talked about, they actually don't cover what we put into them.
Yeah.
So I always like to explain to people, if you were boarding a dog, I pay somewhere between, I don't know, $25 and $50, depending on what I expect. Yeah. Do I expect them to have the daycare portion? Do I expect a bath at the end? Yeah. But even if we went on the low end and said $25 a night for every day that an animal's boarding, if you included that with the medical care. Yeah. Well, and
our
adoption fees.
You guys have employees too. Correct. Like, we're foster based, so you guys have to pay your employees.
Exactly.
You have to pay your taxes every year. You have to pay your electric, your water, food, all the things like that. Yeah. So if things aren't getting donated, you guys have to dip into those donations to pay for all of that. Especially you guys aren't seeing any. You guys, how should I phrase this? You're not making any money off of your employees like other places do, like restaurants and all these different things.
Sure.
You guys aren't making money off of your employees to do things.
Correct.
So
yeah, we've gotten creative. We have some different merch available. So our shirt sales really help. I mean, and they're super fun. I'm wearing one right now. Yeah. So we have a lot of fun. I know, I do too. We have a lot of fun options there. But truly, it's mostly through donations through the community and grants. I mean, those are our two studies.
Yeah, how you guys are able to function.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the last way is we recycle aluminum cans. Yeah. So we have 2 over at ARF and at our thrift store. It's 7600 West Kilgore. We have receptacles for cans. Yeah. So if you have any type of aluminum, you have to be careful with your pet food cans and stuff like that, because a lot of that's not aluminum. Some of it is.
I know that.
But any pop cans, any kind of soda, and all the caffeinated drinks or whatever you're drinking,
you guys can recycle those and use those to put back into the animals.
And so, I mean, it is at the point where we're having our receptacle picked up about every 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
And that's like the most passive source of income
there is. That's amazing.
We all probably drink pop or whatever it is, Red Bull or whatever. whatever you need to get through the day.
Yeah.
But just save those cans for us. If you're at a workplace and you guys don't recycle aluminum, if you can think about, could I, maybe offer to take these weekly to ARF, put out a trash can or whatever it is, and then drop those off at ARF.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been a huge
that's
blessing.
a great idea. I would have never thought of that. So
I know.
That's
Terry,
an amazing idea.
And the funny thing is, for years, Terry and I we had an outdoor dog kennel.
Yeah.
People would just drop them off, and we'd rent a U-Haul. We would hand load them, her and I. I mean, it'd be 105 degrees, bees all over the place, or it'd be like 10 degrees out, and our tiers are freezing.
Yeah.
And we'd be loading up the cans, and now they actually bring a truck and they pick it up and they switch it out. So it's
probably so much easier.
Much easier.
You've moved up in the can world.
I know.
But that's a great idea. But I never would have thought of that in the thrift store.
Yes.
So is that just like anybody and everybody can just drop off donations?
Yes, and anything you could buy at Goodwill. Now it's a little bit smaller of a space, so we can't do really large furniture,
like
stuff like
couches,
that.
things like that. Because I've been in there before, and there's not really space for it to put anything like that in there.
But so clothes and collectibles, memorabilia, pictures. I mean, anything you could buy at Goodwill. Yeah. So housewares, stuff like that.
Kitchen stuff.
Exactly.
Even like small appliances, maybe like coffee makers or.
Well, and it's like stuff like
microwaves and stuff like that.
Yes, yeah. If you upgraded your stuff at Christmas time and you're like, what am I going to do with this air fryer that's practically brand new, but I don't want to throw away?
Yeah. Donate to the thrift store, to the ARF thrift store. That way, that money can go right back into the animals.
Exactly. So yeah.
So
the only thing that I don't think that I wanted to touch base on that we haven't talked about yet is we actually, one of the newer things, I mean, we've kind of done this here and there for years, but now for anybody surrendering litters of puppies and kittens, we make sure that the mothers get spayed.
Which is amazing.
I know. And it's
that way it doesn't keep happening.
Exactly. So if you follow us on Facebook, recently we had a group of puppies that were named after the months. So they were half Puggle, half Pit Bull.
Yeah.
And they, there were 12 of them, so they were January through December.
Yeah.
And so we offered a spay for that mother dog. And she actually was like, I would love to have her sister spayed too.
Yeah.
So we spayed in that household, not just the mother, but we spayed her sister.
That way it doesn't keep happening.
Exactly. Yeah. And the people we neutered the dad too. So that's included. We don't even charge people for that service. We do ask for $20 to $40 towards the cost of the surgery, but if they can't do it, we will still do it.
Problem.
And then they paid for their male puppy that they kept from a previous litter.
Yeah.
So just from that one offer of a mother dog spay, we were able to fix 4 total animals from that house. And that was her first litter. Or second litter, I can't remember. That must have been her first litter.
It was her last
litter. That's the important. There were 12, but let's just say her and her sister each had 12 more puppies 2 times a year. I mean, we're talking
and then
hundreds.
They kept some.
Hundreds of puppies
and
that we've prevented.
None of those puppies, so they gave those puppies away for free on Facebook, and none of those puppies were vetted. And so say they didn't come down with parvo because they weren't never vetted, but then they were just out there reproducing more. So it's like your 2 turned into 4,000 real fast because that whole entire line, none of them were fixed and just kept reproducing.
Yeah. So that's to me kind of the biggest impact we can do is spaying these mother animals because next year we're not going to be begging for donations for those 12 puppies.
Right.
Or for the other dogs. And we're not going to be paying for emergency C-sections. We're not going to be paying for pyometra surgeries, which is our Forever Pet Fund just recently helped an owner's dog.
Does she want me to pick her up?
She probably does.
Okay, here. Would you like to get up here?
She's very needy.
And
she's a licker.
Thank you. Thank you.
But so recently our Forever Pet Fund paid for or helped an owner receive surgery for a pyometra, which is an infected uterus.
Yep.
On a 5-year-old dog.
And that's expensive, especially if you have to go to an emergency vet.
It is. So we were able to locate a vet that performed the surgery for around $500 to $600, and the owner paid for a portion, and then we picked up the rest of it. But that's the thing, when we spay these mother animals, we are not begging you next year to donate to a pyometra. We're not begging you for puppy food. We're not begging you to help treat parvo. Tinkerbell will beg for anything.
Yes. She's like, this is nice.
Yes.
She got stinky little old lady breath.
I know, and she's even had a recent dental.
I know, it's just old lady. You're just an old lady. It's okay. It's okay with your stinky breath.
But so I mean, all the stuff that's happening is wonderful. I love that we can partner. I mean, I feel like everybody in Muncie and Delaware County so far, all the different rescue groups kind of work together, because you guys have foster homes where we don't. And I know we've sent some puppies to you. You've reached out to me, hey, because it's something you can help with. And then we have a network of rescues within the state. So we, and actually we are, we have a little Yorkie that was surrendered who has a little bit of a temperament issue. Keep in mind, he's as small as her.
He's got the small dog syndrome.
Exactly. So he's not a danger, but he doesn't like to be picked up. He'll jump on you. If he's instigating the affection, he's fine. He does not like to be picked up. He doesn't like his sides to be touched. So we found a Yorkie rescue that's willing to give him the time that he needs to feel comfortable. They're in North Carolina. So we and my husband and I are driving him soon to North Carolina. Vacation, I know we'll make an overnight out of it. But they're also going to take a 12-year-old Yorkie that we also know needs somewhere to go. So it's kind of this really cool network of people all over. If you just reach out for help, a lot of times
they may have other connections too that they've worked with. So it's so important to be easy to work with. Obviously not like don't let yourself get ran over by other people, but easy to work with. That way you can network, because the more we work together, the more animals we can help.
And that's the bottom line. We are all here to help the animals. So the more we can work together, the more lives we save. And I think it's wonderful.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add about ARF?
I think we've talked about everything I wanted to. So yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys have any questions or comments, just drop it in the comments, and you can always reach out to ARF.
Absolutely.
Do you want to tell them their website and it's everything like that? I know you guys are on Facebook. That way, if they want to reach out or have questions.
Absolutely. So our Facebook is Muncie ARF, and then our website is just munciearf.com. And so if you guys have questions, you want to come out and take a tour, I always encourage people, if you haven't been to ARF, reach out to us. We love to show you around. Even if you're not looking to adopt, we'd like to show you around. There's probably somewhere, even if it's saving aluminum cans, or, instead of dropping stuff off at other thrift stores that, maybe are for profit or something like that, drop them off to help us. Or there's thrift stores, and if you're not in Muncie, there's thrift stores all over Indiana that help animals. So we can even, there's a nice little graphic that somebody's put together. We can share that with you so that you're helping animals in your community.
And what are your hours, and where do they fill out an application too?
Absolutely. So our applications are available online. We're trying to actually get most of our stuff, our communications, to go through our website. So it's
makes it a lot easier.
And we encourage people to get pre-approved. If you're looking for that doodle or that golden retriever or Shih Tzu or hypoallergenic or whatever it is, fill out an application, because if you're already approved, then you stop in and you see that dog that you have to have, or that cat you can't leave without, then you can actually leave that day with that pet. If you're not pre-approved, it does take a couple days, but that's no problem either. And our open hours are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays 1 to 4, and Saturdays noon to 3.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
In. Yeah, of course.
And
thank you. Remind me, Princess?
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
But she is a princess.
She is a princess. So, and thank you for bringing Tinkerbell, the ARF alumni. So, you guys definitely tune into this and be ready for our next one. Thanks so much.
Thank you.